Hello, friends, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to our fourth and final, which kind of makes me sad, installment of our nutrition series with Basic Balanced Nutrition. If you have not been able to catch parts 1 through 3, there is a link to our YouTube, which Brandy has so kindly allowed us to record her and save those for posterity so that you can go back and check anything. This session will also be recorded and posted on our YouTube, most likely later today, because we have some fantastic interns that are so good at getting this up on YouTube much faster than I ever could. Without any further delay, I will turn the time over to Brandy. She's great at monitoring the chat as she presents. So if you do have questions or concerns, please drop them in there. If you have a private question or concern that you need to send to me, I'll keep an eye out as well. And let's learn a little bit more about those nutritional supplements.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I will say if y'all hear a little bit of noise in the background, I'm having some electrical work done, so I apologize about that, but they aren't too loud. But today we'll be going over optimizing health with nutrition supplementation. So for those of you who have no idea who I am, my name is Brandy. I'm the owner and one of the dietitians here at Basic Balanced Nutrition. Aggie alumni, Sam Houston alumni, dog and cat mom, lover of quesadillas and anything chocolate, and hater of fad diets and restriction. So if y'all feel comfortable, please turn on your camera. I love to see y'all's faces. So I actually feel like I'm presenting to someone, which I kind of low key love even like having a little profile picture on there because it feels like at least there's somebody here. But like Madeline said, I am really good at monitoring the chat. And even if you do have a private question, you can send it to me privately as well. And I won't say your name or anything, but I'll still answer the question. So not only you get the information, but everybody else here gets the information as well. So let's get comfy. So if y'all know me, I always like to start with some sort of reflection or question or something related to the topic. So I kind of have two questions today. So, are you currently taking any sort of supplements? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about nutrition supplements? So, if y'all want to throw that in the chat, just kind of want to see an overview of where we're at. How confident are we? Do we take supplements? Do we not take supplements? Are we hesitant about taking supplements? And can y'all see my screen?
Yes, I can
Okay, good.
see your
Okay.
screen. So I'm going to assume
It's
that everybody else can.
Okay, cool. With Zoom, I can't, like when I shared, I can't see it. And the system we use when I shared, I can see it. So I just wanted to make sure, because those questions were on the screen too. Let's see. So no supplements. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I'm taking them. Sometimes I feel like they are working. Other times they are not working. Yes, I'm taking supplements and I'm somewhat confident. No supplements. Creatine and collagen plus from Thorne. I love Thorne. Actually, that's in the presentation. That's one of my favorite brands out there. Yes, the supplements. I'd say an 8. That's great. Yes, I think I am. I take supplements. Not always confident. They are as they are labeled. Yes, and that's another thing we're going to get into today. So let's jump right in. Let's see, we have a no coming in. Okay, so let's jump right in. And FYI, at the end of this presentation, I will have a QR code for the presentation slides and then our supplement guide. The supplement guide is basically a lot of what we're talking about, especially in like our recommended brands and our foundational supplements that we recommend, which is what we'll be going over today. Because if we go over every supplement out there, there's just so much because it's so individualized for each individual person, each individual disease state, each individual goal. So that supplement guide is just our foundational recommendations, just on a nice, neat little typed up handout versus on the presentation slides. So overview for today, we'll do an introduction and then go over how to choose quality supplements because yes, let's see who it was. Kim, you're right. They don't always have what they say they have in there. And then how to order if you're interested in ordering through Full Script or Designs for Health. That's usually where we have our clients go to order. You can get them from anywhere. Practical tips for using supplements wisely, and then the supplement recommendations. So those foundational recommendations that we have, and then a few more of my favorites. So first things first, in addition to nutrition supplementation, I want to make sure that we're always looking at all of these other sections as well in our life because we can never out supplement nutrition or any of these other pillars. So, at Basic Balanced Nutrition, these are our pillars. This is what we focus on. So, obviously, as registered dietitian, we absolutely focus primarily on nutrition, but we look at everything as a whole and how everything works together. So we want to make sure we're properly hydrated, we're moving, we're exercising, we're sleeping enough. We are doing some sort of stress management because everybody got stress, right? And then mindset. We have to have a good mindset as well. And I know some people are like, mindset, what does that have to do with it? A lot. I think it was our first presentation we did in this series was over mindset. So if you didn't watch it or you were able to attend, go back, watch it, and you'll learn a little bit about mindset and why it's so very important in our health. So, first things first, what are supplements? So, basically, if you've never heard of supplements, which I would guess most people have, they're concentrated sources of our vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients. So, if you've heard me talk before, usually we talk about macronutrients and balancing and that sort of thing. But we have our macronutrients, which are nutrients we need in large amounts to survive. But we also have our micronutrients out there as well. And that's our vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients, just to put it into perspective for you. So these supplements allow us to basically just do that. So they're nutrition supplements. So they are just supplementing our diet. So we can never out supplement a poor diet, a poor lifestyle. So we absolutely recommend a food first approach. So making sure we're trying to get food first and then supplements second. Yes, there are a lot of different deficiencies out there, and just with our diet and sometimes like busyness and our schedules, we just don't get in the balance and the proper micronutrients we need. So that's when supplements come in because we still want that optimal health. So if we can't get it through food, that's when we lean on supplements. So again, we can't ever replace our food with supplements. So we're focusing on the whole foods because those also, in addition to those micronutrients, they provide things like fiber, our antioxidants, those phytochemicals, and then supplements just fill those nutrition gaps, or if someone has a nutrition deficiency, so say like a vitamin D or a magnesium or a B12 or an iron, something like that. If someone can't get it through their diet, that's whenever we look at supplementation. So how to choose quality supplements? So supplements are not regulated by the FDA, so it's important that we find a good high quality brand. So without having to go to each one and do the research, these are some different ways you can kind of vet a supplement where you don't have to go in and do that research. So the full script website, and I'll go more into like how to access that and whatnot here in a second. But the full script website for a supplement to be allowed to be on this website, it has to be third party tested. There's a lot of auditing that goes through. So for me, if I'm like, hey, is this supplement good? Honestly, I usually go to full script to see if it's on there. And if it is, I'm like, okay, check mark for that one. But also you can look at the other certifications out there. So USP and NSF. And on the next slide, I'll have what those look like and then the informed choice as well. So this is what they would look like on a supplement package bottle. So I kind of have the arrows pointing. You can see the USP to the left. To the right, it's the NSF. And then in the middle, I couldn't find this one like on an actual product on my Google search, but this is what that like emblem would look like on a package. Okay, so that's a great way to do it. Again, FullScript is an amazing website. We usually recommend FullScript or Designs for Health. That's where we give our clients really two different options. We try not to make it too confusing, but I like for them to have both options. I love Designs for Health, but again, FullScript has a lot of different brands on there as well. And again, you can kind of use it to vet those products too. So I put these QR codes here. If you ever want to order, you can order straight from here just for ease. If you say 2 months from now, you're like, hey, I know she sent me that PowerPoint. Now I can't find it. You can always go to our website under resources, dietitian favorites. If you click that, scroll down, it has a place where it says supplements, and it has those two websites on there. It actually breaks down the our favorites on there as well, like kind of that foundational protocol. So in addition to Designs for Health and then Full Script, because again, it has a million different brands on there. A few that our BBN dietitians love is Designs for Health, the Pure Encapsulations, Biotics Research, and then the Thorn. Love all those brands. It's not limited to those brands, but I know those. I love those. I trust those. So if you're looking for a place to start, I would start there, even choosing one. Again, they're all great brands. Supplements can be really confusing because there's a lot of brands out there. So just for ease, here's a few to get you started. So a few just practical tips for using supplements wisely, because we can use them incorrectly. In addition to sometimes we can take them not really how we're supposed to, maybe like taking too much, but we can also take them in not the right way to get the optimal bang for your buck out of them. So timing matters. So sometimes it tells you, hey, you need to take it with food, while some work better on an empty stomach. And then the combination of taking different supplements together. So certain nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, those work better when taken together, versus others like calcium, iron should be taken separately for that maximum absorption. And then check with a professional. I mean, obviously, I'm going to recommend come to see us or get with a registered dietitian, because not all supplements someone could be taking are necessary. So what we do at Basic Balance Nutrition, we look at your whole lifestyle. What are you doing throughout the day? And then also, really important, we look at your labs. Like, what are your lab values telling us? What's our vitamin D look like? Vitamin D is one of the most common deficiencies that we see. And with deficiencies, I'll just use vitamin D as an example. If it's low enough, you can't even get enough from food to fill up your cup, if that makes sense. So say, and I should have put a visual. You'll know, if you know me, you know I love a visual. Next time I'm gonna add it in here. So say you have a Sonic cup. Sonic was my first job, so I'm always biased. I love Sonic. So say you have a Sonic cup, and say your vitamin D is like this much, like in the bottom of the Sonic cup. So eating it from food is just kind of like a trickle. But say you have a hole in the bottom of your Sonic cup. So you could never get it to the top with just that trickle coming from food, right? So we would need to supplement in addition to that food to get to the top. Does that make sense? I'm like, hopefully I explained that. I need to have a visual for next time. Um, so someone asked, how much do labs cost with y'all? So we actually don't do labs in-house. A lot of our clients are referred from their doctor. So we just usually we get those labs from the doctor. But even if you weren't referred by the doctor, you can bring in your labs. You can have your doctor fax over the labs to us, and we can save them to your chart and then review them with you whenever you come in. I will say most times whenever we see lab reports, vitamin D is usually not on there. Um, and with what I said earlier, vitamin D is the most common deficiency. I would highly recommend you get it done at least annually to see where you're at. If it is low, then I'd probably recommend, and you could get with the doctor too, but probably recommend getting it checked maybe like a midway point, because probably what would happen, you would start some sort of supplementation, and we want to see if that's working for you, and if you're over that like recommended amount. So let's jump right into the actual foundational supplement recommendation. So I did a little disclaimer at the bottom. So supplement recommendations depend on the individual and their lifestyle and their labs and so many other factors. So as we go through, I go over what the supplement is, like what we want to be taking, like a multivitamin, for instance. One recommendation I do throughout here, I do Designs for Health. I love Designs for Health. That's what I personally take. And then I go over how much you should be taking on things like vitamin D and magnesium and omegas and stuff like that. So again, just keeping in mind, those are just kind of like blanket recommendations. So you might need something more individualized for you. So starting out with a multivitamin, through Designs for Health, I love the twice daily multi. This contains a great amount of all of those micronutrients that we were talking about, the vitamins, the minerals, So most Americans, we just don't get a variety. I know this is me a lot of times. I kind of like go through phases in my life, and that's just what it is. That's what life is. We're never perfect. It kind of ebbs and flows. So I always keep these on hand. I know for me, when I get in kind of a full season, maybe a more busy season, I tend to kind of make one thing, eat the same thing throughout the week, or sometimes I just don't feel myself enough. So I keep these on hand to take them when I need them. But if I'm rocking and rolling, I'm getting a balance, I'm getting a variety in my diet, then I might not take these, if that makes sense. But most people don't get that balance in. So think to yourself, am I getting a balance? Do I think I'm getting a balance of all kinds of different vitamins, different minerals in? If not, this could be great to just keep on hand. So, love a multivitamin. Omega 3 is the next one. So, the Omega Avel 1000 is one of my favorites through Designs for Health. So, the recommendations for omegas is 1,000 milligrams of actual omega 3 per day. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you a screenshot of the supplement facts to show you what I mean by this, because sometimes whenever you look at the supplement facts, it has like a little plus sign and it doesn't actually tell you the number. I don't like that. So I'll show you what I'm looking for specifically. So with omega 3s, this is helping reduce our inflammation. Really, really great for our brain health, helps with memory, helps with focus. It also increases the HDL, so the good cholesterol. So if you've ever gotten your cholesterol done, you have your total cholesterol and then you have that breakdown. So your total cholesterol comes from your HDL cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and triglycerides. Like, it's an equation of those three. So this one specifically helps increase that HDL cholesterol, your good cholesterol, and that helps then sweep out the LDL or bad cholesterol. So that can help with that. So if you struggle with maybe a low HDL or even like a higher LDL, an omega 3 could be great for that. So also supports hair, skin, and eye health as well. So looking at a supplement facts label, so kind of similar to a nutrition facts label, right? But it says supplement facts at the top. Remember, everything on here is not regulated by the FDA. That's what we're making sure we get third-party tested supplements, because if it's third-party tested, what they say is in it is truly in it. Because there's brands out there that could say, hey, it has vitamin D, and they don't even have vitamin D. It's been proven, it's been studied. It's crazy. I don't know how they can legally do that. But again, they're not regulated, but still, I'm like, ethically, why are you doing that? Anyways, I digress. Okay, supplement facts for omega 3s. What I was saying earlier is what is recommended is at least 1,000 milligrams of strictly omega 3. So you look here and you can see kind of like a little bit under halfway down, it says omega 3 fatty acids, and you go over and it says 1 gram. So 1 gram is technically 1,000 milligrams. So that's what we're looking for. So that's how we know we have a good quality. And with this one, this supplement facts is actually the supplement facts for the omega we just looked at. So I'm going to go back real quick. But this one actually is just one capsule for that 1,000 milligrams, which is great. So if you see at the top the serving size, so again, very similar to a nutrition facts label, it shows the serving size at the top based off of what all the numbers are below. So this one soft gel has 1,000 milligrams. So something you see often is it could say 1,000 milligrams of omega 3, but you have to take 2 soft gels or 3 soft gels. And I know I'm not doing that. So this is why this one's my favorite. One and done here. Okay, so next is vitamin D. And like I said earlier, this is the most common deficiency that we see in our clients that are coming in. So it really depends. I know there's a lot of words on the screen, but it really depends on where your number is to know how much to take. And if you don't know, I would just start at the first one. So the vitamin D synergy. So that's 2,000 IUs per day. So if you don't know where you're at and you want to take it, you could do this, do the 2,000. But if I have a client come in and say their vitamin D is, so what the recommended amount is technically above 30, I like it optimally above 50. But if someone's under 30, depending on where they're at, actually, we have a chart and a diagram of like how to replete someone's vitamin D. Um, but if it's say in the 20s, I'd probably do like the 5,000 IUs per day. Get them to go back to the doctor or a place like any lab now. You can just like go get your vitamin D checked, see where you're at, and go from there. Now, if some people are really, really deficient in vitamin D, remember that Sonic cup? Like if it's really low, they're going to need a higher dose to replete that deficiency. So usually what is recommended if someone has a really, really low vitamin D, like in the, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 range, the doctor usually calls in a prescription for 50,000 IUs once a week. And you might think, like, that's a lot to take at one time. But vitamin D is one of our fat soluble vitamins. So it's just stored in our body until our body needs it. So we can take that amount, it's not harmful. Again, we're repleting the client. So, vitamin D, again, most people are deficient, but it's essential for immunity, our metabolism to work like it's supposed to, and then bone health. So if you find yourself getting sick often, or maybe you think, okay, my metabolism isn't working optimally, vitamin D could be the culprit. Again, most people are deficient here. So I would, honestly, one takeaway from today, if you had to take one thing away, I would say get your vitamin D checked and see where you're at. Magnesium, this is another thing that people are deficient in pretty often. From what the research shows, this is another one that's usually just not checked though. So this is one of the ones I would add to your list to ask the doctor when you go in for your annual labs. Hey, can I get a magnesium and then the vitamin D as well? So recommended here is 200 300 milligrams per day of the magnesium. So different signs that you have a magnesium deficiency could be anxiety, constipation, trouble sleeping. With these things, if constipation is kind of the main thing for you out of this list, and you're like, hey, maybe I'm deficient in magnesium. And really, even if you're not, if you have constipation, magnesium citrate, actually, I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick. Magnesium citrate, magnesium and Designs for Health does have one, is really good for constipation. Helps us go, right? I don't like to put it on my main one because I don't want people taking it if they don't have constipation issues, because then it's going to cause diarrhea. But that could be a good option as well. And then probiotic. So ProbioMed, whenever we take a probiotic, we want at least 1 billion CFU, so colony forming units. So most people nowadays have heard of probiotics. I feel like it was probably maybe like 5 years ago when it kind of got popular and, in the media and stuff. So most people nowadays have heard of it. But these are our live microorganisms that live in our gut. And that make up our gut microbiome. So basically like our environment in our gut. And we want to make sure that this is optimal, because our gut health literally affects everything. And if it's out of whack, if we have the fancy word for out of whack is like dysbiosis. So if our gut is in dysbiosis, then we have usually the constipation, maybe diarrhea, trouble with digestion, bloating, gas. It can affect our immunity. It can affect our metabolism. It can increase our risk for different disease states. We want to make sure we have our gut optimal, optimal gut microbiome. Okay, let's see what else I had on here. So disruption in our gut microbiome also can occur from really all of the other things that we talked about when we first started. Remember all of those pillars? So obviously nutrition, but even if we're not hydrated enough, if we have chronic stress, that can really affect our gut microbiome. If we're not sleeping enough, which actually not sleeping enough is a stressor. Mindset too, honestly. If you really think deeper into it, it affects it as well. And then use of antibiotics. So whenever we take antibiotics, it kills everything in our gut. Kills the good bacteria in our gut and the bad bacteria whenever we take those. So even after a round of antibiotics, I always recommend a round of probiotics to replenish um, the good bacteria in our gut, right? Because it killed everything. So one of the packets that Designs for Health has, if you're like, you told me a lot of these different supplements, I'm not going to open the bottle and take it and all of these different things. If you're that person, these packets might be perfect for you. Each one includes a multivitamin, a calcium, magnesium, and omega-3. Super easy and convenient. Like in this box, you just take out it's just a little packet, has all of the different supplements in there. So you can really grab and go. Or you can be like me and get I've had it since I was probably like 7. I've had allergies all my life. So I've always had to take some sort of medicine, but like the little pill thingies that you open. But I always remember to habit stack. I know that's been a game changer for me, habit stack taking your supplements. So you make sure you're taking your supplements. I always put it in front of my sweeteners for my coffee because I know I'm going to drink coffee every day. So then I take my supplements every day. So a few additional favorites that technically really aren't like foundational, but a few of my favorites. Prebiotics. So sounds pretty similar to probiotics, right? But probiotics are the actual live organism. Our prebiotics are the food that our probiotics eat. So it's really fiber. So that's how we keep our probiotics alive, by eating fiber rich sources. I know for me personally, I struggle with getting enough fiber in on some days. Again, my life ebbs and flows. So this is another thing, either this or even like chia seeds. That's one of my favorite go-to fibers. I keep it on hand. So whenever I'm not getting enough fiber, I can just like throw it into a smoothie, throw it into yogurt, whatever, and super easy and convenient to get that prebiotic or that fiber in. And then another option for the packets. So these specific packets are immune support packets. I keep these on hand when I start to feel like I'm getting sick, or when I travel, or when it's flu season. So keeping these on hand for those times. Again, easy, convenient. They're in the little packet. And then they have those, powerful antioxidants in these packets. I'll have to look. Let's see. I think they have, I should have listed it out. I think it has vitamin D, zinc, a supplement that like specifically has antioxidants in it. But again, like all the different supplements are in each little packet. So I know that was short, but there was a lot to take in, a lot of different supplements. So again, if you know me, I always like to set focuses at the end. I don't know how many focuses we could really set from this. I guess there's a few. We could make sure, if we're taking supplements, let's go home. Let's look to see on our supplements. Do they have those check marks? Are they third party tested? Is it a reputable source or a reputable brand? The vitamin D, like I said, that would be one takeaway from day. I would definitely get your vitamin D checked to just see where you're at, because many people are deficient there and they think their anxiety and their immunity or the reason they're getting sick is like other things, but it's usually just their vitamin D being low. So think about it, take a minute, set 1 to 2 focuses, something you learned from today that you want to start implementing. I love if y'all share it in the chat. I love to hear what y'all want to focus on. And then if you have any questions, definitely let me know. I'm going to give you all a few seconds to kind of think through this, set some focuses. I'm going to get a little bit more into, I just have a few slides about us, who we are. And then at the end, we'll definitely open it up for more questions. Let's see. Is there a supplement to increase our metabolism or to lose weight that you recommend for women that is 56 years old? I'm sorry if I missed it. No, don't apologize. I didn't have anything specifically for that. Like today, I'm not sure when you hopped on, but today we really went over just like foundational stuff. But if you're interested in supporting your metabolism, losing weight, I would honestly, I would start with, and I'm gonna back up a little bit. I would start with these things here. Where are you here first? And like I said, at Basic Balance Nutrition, this is exactly what we do with clients. We look at their lifestyle, where are gaps, and then we help you plug those gaps in a sustainable way that fits your lifestyle. So that's where I'll look first because with metabolism, if you're not doing these things like metabolism and losing weight, because if you increase your metabolism, you lose like losing weight is just kind of like a side effect, if that makes sense. So we always focus on metabolism versus just like weight loss because with the increased metabolism comes the weight loss, if that makes sense. um but you kind of what I was talking about earlier with like you can't out supplement a poor lifestyle. So I would start there, with the nutrition. Are we eating enough? Are we eating consistently? Are we eating balanced? Are we getting a variety in with hydration? Are we drinking enough? Movement, exercise, like so on and so forth through this list. And I would kind of see where the gaps are there before you start supplementing for metabolism and weight loss. I'm interested in checking the website and see how my supplements add up. Perfect. Yes. Yes. Um, I would definitely do that. I love full script. And if you're a type of person that you're like, hey, I want to take Thorne for my multivitamin. I really love Thorne, but then Designs for Health for my vitamin D, so on and so forth. It's really great because you can order everything in one place versus like going to Thorne to order this and going to Designs for Health to order this. What are some foods that we can eat to get the probiotics we need? So anything fermented like sauerkraut, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Kombucha has probiotics in it. Um, I don't know why I'm blanking, but anything fermented is going to have the probiotics in it. I know for me personally, I mean sauerkraut's okay and like kombucha's kind of okay. But I don't like the fermented stuff. So if anybody else is like me, sometimes it's just easier. I know we talked about food first earlier, but if you don't like the food, then sometimes supplementing is a good way to do it too. What's your opinion on, oh my goodness, I'm like, I don't know what this is off the top of my head. Um, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it in my browser over here. So I remember to look it up. I've never heard of this. Um, so I can't speak to this, but I can look into it. If you want to send us an email and just ask this exact question, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Um, Sorry, my email is forever long. Nutrition, counseling. Ask me this exact question and I'll get back with you. Greek yogurt. Oh, duh. Yes, probiotics in Greek yogurt. I'm telling you, I was blanking, and I do like Greek yogurt. I will say that. I'm like, hang on. Let's see. Y'all are hitting me with all these words. I'm like, Yakult. I don't know what that is. Okay, it looks like it's a probiotic drink, like a brand of probiotic drinks. I've never tried it, but if it's a probiotic drink, and it looks like it's like those little ones. I've seen those. I think maybe it's a different brand. I'm not sure. I've never tried them. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but just from, I mean, what I see just looking at it, it just looks like it's a little, kind of like a little shot of probiotics. But good questions, y'all. Let's see. Okay, there's also fruit beverage called Good Belly that has different flavors, two of which are no sugar added. Perfect. It's like activity is probiotic drinks. Okay, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it. Oh, it's a collagen. Yeah, and I'm not sure of that. So yeah, I've never heard of that. Y'all are teaching me something today. But collagen is great, but I don't know specifically. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I will butcher that word. Okay, so I'm going to go just back to the end real quick where we were. I just wanted to be able to show you all that. Let's see. I've been making overnight oats with plain Greek yogurt, chia seeds, maple syrup, vanilla, and various toppings. Stay with banana blueberries. Yum. Which is help with fullness and energy. Perfect. And even just looking at its balance, right? It has carb, protein, fat, fiber in it. It has the probiotics in there. So it has probiotics and the prebiotics from the fiber, right? So a great balanced meal. And I love overnight oats because they're so easy. Can't get over the chia seed texture. I know some people hate it. You could always, I feel like blending it helps a little bit, so it's not like as thick. But with the chia seeds, if you let it sit in liquid really any amount of time, how the chia seeds work, they double in size. They like, I'm like, what's the wording for it? It basically like soaks up the liquid, they double in size, and then they have that like gel on the outside. So I don't know if you're saying you don't like the texture of like the little hard balls or like the yeah, the like jelly gelatinous portion of it. But you could do like a flaxseed or something like that instead if you don't like the chia seed texture. Personally, I'm kind of opposite. I don't like flaxseed. And I prefer chia over flax, but it's still great for that fiber. So kind of whatever works best. Let's see. I do make overnight oats minus the chia. Yeah, even in that, yeah, you could do the flaxseed. I see a chia pudding recipes and they look so gelatinous. Yeah, it's kind of like tapioca pudding, and I loved tapioca pudding when I was little. So maybe that's why I love it so much. It kind of reminds me of that. I actually recently I made just like some chocolate pudding and I put chia seeds in it. I'm like, why not? Let me just try it and see like how the fiber is. And it was like exactly like tapioca pudding. Peaches are another delicious addition, or chocolate chips. Yes, I've never done peaches in my overnight oats, but that sounds delicious. I typically add a nut like pecans or almonds to my oats. Yes, love that. That's adding in fiber, protein, our heart healthy fats. So great. I still love tapioca pudding. Yes, it's so good. Oh man. Okay. So I'm going to, again, we'll have more time for questions here in a second, but just a little bit about us for anybody that has to hop off. Like Madeline was saying, this is our last session. I'm sad. I've had so much fun with y'all. Y'all have been a great audience, asked some great questions, but a little bit about who we are. So we'll go over that, how we can help, what makes us different. So we are a team of registered dietitians with a mission to help our clients gain confidence with their nutrition choices and ditch the diet culture mindset. So no more restriction, no more taking away. We're talking about actually being able to enjoy your favorite foods. So how to work with us? We do one-on-one sessions. Right now we are on a wait list for our one-on-one session. So if that's something you're interested in, I would recommend going ahead and getting on that wait list because it is first come, first serve for the wait list. And we are on a wait list for all of our locations, including virtual. We do offer group sessions. So we have a monthly masterclass exactly like this setup. This is exactly how we do our master classes. So if you're not really quite ready to get into the, dive deep into one-on-one sessions, but you kind of want more support like this, we have our monthly master classes. And then we have our community hour. So that is exclusive to our BBN one-on-one clients only because it's a safe space for them to get together to chat about their journey. And then we do things like grocery store tours and then things like this, like corporate wellness. We do presentations, we do cooking demos, we do all of the things. So overall, how we can help, we're basically wanting to end the confusion of nutrition because there's so much information out there, so much misinformation out there, wrong information out there. So we're helping you figure out what works best, not only overall, but specifically for you if we're working, one-on-one with you. We're ditching the diet culture mindset. So no more restriction, no more rules, no more rigidity. So it's very flexible in what you can do. We're simplifying the nutrition, again, ending the confusion, simplifying it. We've had so many clients come in and they're like, this is the easiest thing I've ever heard to do versus a lot of those diets out there and nutrition recommendations out there can be really overwhelming and really confusing. So our program is very simplified and we take it step by step, especially if we're working with us one-on-one. We chunk it down into bite-sized pieces to fit your lifestyle. Disease state management, no matter what disease, we're registered dietitians. We went to school for a lot of years and learned a lot about every single disease state out there. So most common ones we see about, or we see and we hear about just overall are diabetes, heart disease, PCOS, but I mean, we can go into IBS, chronic kidney disease. Even if someone's on dialysis, we can go into that. Thyroid, anything and everything. Again, we do offer the one-on-one support. So again, depends on where you're at, if you want to do one-on-one or if you want to do group, but with that one-on-one support, you work with a dietitian one-on-one that dives deep into your lifestyle to give you individualized recommendations. Sustainable change. So we're teaching you how to change in a way that is sustainable. That's not, okay, you do this for a month and then you quote unquote fall off. That's not what we do. It's teaching you baby steps to sustain the changes that we're making. And then no more guilt. So no guilt, no shame whenever you work with us, and no second guessing yourself. So our locations, like I said, we are currently on a wait list for all of our locations, but we're in College Station, Conroe, Huntsville, and we do telehealth virtual sessions so we can really see anybody anywhere. And then how we practice, I know a lot of the stuff was on the last slide that we went over, so I'll kind of just briefly run over this, but how we practice, we don't restrict you. If you work one-on-one, we give you individualized recommendations. It's not just like a handout and we're like, here you go, like see you next week. That's not how we work. We're like deep diving into your lifestyle if we work one-on-one together. We don't focus on weight, the size of someone's body, or BMI. We focus more, like we were talking about, on metabolism. We focus more on what we call non-scale victory. So how is your energy? How are your bowel movements? How is your sleep? How is your movement? How are your relationships? Things like that. And you might think, like, relationships, why does that matter? Quick story, had a client, he came in, I think this was his third session. He said, my coworkers asked me what I'm doing because I'm nice now. Because you get hangry. If you don't eat enough, you're getting hangry, you're irritable all the time, you're not fun to be around. So it really does improve your relationships. No judgment or shame to work with us. This is always a safe space. And then, like I said earlier, we have, in addition to nutrition, we focus on everything lifestyle wise, all of those other pillars, because we believe everything goes hand in hand. So my favorite part, did you know that nutrition counseling, all of our sessions, our one-on-one sessions, our group sessions, our grocery store tours, they are all covered 100% by y'all's A&M insurance. And if you have a different insurance, maybe you're on your spouse's insurance, don't worry, we accept most major insurances. And even with that, most insurances cover all of our sessions. So side note, which is really good. So if you ever want to work with a dietitian, but you're like, I don't know if I want to pay for it, you don't have to. It's covered through your health insurance under your preventative policy. And then if you loved our time together, these are our master classes. So these are the upcoming master classes that we have. March actually is Mastering Meal Prep Without the Overwhelm, which is one we did with y'all. So you can still come to it if you want to. Again, they're covered through y'all's insurance. But if you love this type of support, I do the master classes right now. And these are topics that we go over. And with our topics, we always let our clients vote on the topic. So it's always things that y'all are interested in learning about. And if you're someone that has been coming to our master classes, a client already, or you want to start coming to our master classes, you can go to our website and you can even vote on those master class topics. So remember, because food is meant to be enjoyed. And then I do have the QR code. So if you, again, there's a lot of QR codes here. If you just put your phone up and tap the one that you want, it will like pull up at the bottom that link. Like just like tap on the QR code you want, if that makes sense. But any questions, let me know. I'm going to throw the main website in here just to schedule. Like I said earlier, we are on a wait list. So if you're interested at all, go ahead. So if you go to the scheduling link at the top, it says like join the wait list. It has a little thing you'll click and it'll just enter like your name, your contact information, what location you're interested in, and then that puts you on our wait list. So what other questions do y'all have for me?
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy. We're
This
very
is
casual here.
this is your last chance with Brandy one
Yeah,
on one
I
until you book
know.
with her.
Yeah, until you book with us. And I don't know, Madeline, I know we have quite a few people here, but if someone has like a longer question and they want to unmute, is that
Yeah,
okay? Okay,
absolutely.
yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
Let's see, how long do you think you'll be on the wait list for? So it really depends on the location. I think we're going to have some availability for virtual coming up in the next few weeks. College Station, I'm not sure yet if you're interested specifically in person. Um, the challenging part with giving like estimates, like how long you're going to be on the wait list with our one-on-one clients, we work so individually with each one. It's not like we say, okay, you have 10 sessions and you're out of here. Like some clients we work with for 10 sessions and some clients we work with weekly for years, so it really just depends. So it's hard to estimate, but that would be my estimate for virtual. For College Station office, I'm not really sure. um you mentioned magnesium citrate. What other forms of magnesium and also calcium supplements do you recommend for best absorption? So definitely, so for magnesium, definitely the one I put on the slide. That's my favorite form. The citrate for constipation. As far as calcium, I'm not sure what calcium is in the um packets. Let me look real quick. Um, I feel like that's a safe bet. We don't have too many people on calcium. That's the kind of challenging thing with not challenging thing with supplements, but like giving out supplement recommendations, especially that I don't know like your lifestyle and stuff. But let me look real quick to see just so I can tell y'all which one specifically is in that one. That's calcium malate. And I'm just gonna put it in the chat. So that's the one I'd recommend like for the calcium because that's the one that's in the packet. I really love to do a grocery trip with one of y'all. Yes, come do one. Usually, how we do the grocery store tours is we like to have a few sessions, like one on one with you first, just because if not, we're like educating in the middle of the store. But I know someone mentioned on our last call, like that would be really cool if we could get together and do something with Living Well, even maybe doing like groups and just kind of have like a blanket grocery store tour. Because even our grocery store tours, how we do it now, are very individualized to the client. Like, do they have diabetes or do they have a food allergy? Or, you know, what are their focuses? Um, but even if we can't do it with Living Well, that's something we're kind of thinking about doing is like, okay, do we want to do a group that's just like blanket recommendations and then going into one-on-ones? But yes, come do one. I might be biased, but they're so much fun. I've heard vitamin C and calcium help each other in terms of absorption. Yes, they do. I'm like you're bringing me back to um my like WIC internship and my dietetic, my RD exam. I want to say yes, with calcium. I don't know why I'm thinking iron, something with iron with vitamin C off the top of my head. But again,
Well,
going back to what I said, go ahead.
I am not a registered dietitian by any means, but when I was
Yes. I'm like,
pregnant,
tell
I
me.
was
Yeah.
anemic and they made me take iron. My doctor recommended iron supplements and told me to take them with orange juice because
Yes. Okay.
the
That's what I'm
citrus was like
like.
a better,
Yes.
it helped absorb the iron better. So,
Right. That's what I was like. I feel like iron's in my head for some reason
hmm
with vitamin C, but I don't know why. So that could be why with the iron too. I'm not sure about calcium. Like I said, I we really don't see a lot of clients that are on calcium supplementation. So I'd have to look into that specifically. But I put my email earlier, so email me that exact question, and then I'm gonna look it up and confirm and get back with you. Let's see. What are your thoughts on creatine? Like who should take it, when to take it? It depends on lifestyle. You know, do you I think it's great. I think it's great, especially if you're, you know, physically active, um, to build the muscle. But even outside of that, I mean, I feel like different people could do it. I don't know specifics about like dosages and how much to take, but again, if y'all want to email me, because some of these things we just don't see it frequently enough for me to like rattle off stuff like vitamin D. I can tell you all the numbers, all the things because we see it so prevalently. But great question. But if you want to email me, I'll definitely look into it and give you like a more direct answer. Let's see, what's your opinion on Udo oil for omegas? I've never heard of Udo oil. Is that a brand? Is that like a type of omega-3? It looks like it's a brand. I'm not sure. What I would recommend you do is look at the bottle because it looks like it's in a bottle form. Look at the label. Does it have like where is it at? Does it have one of these on there or is it on full script? Because that's my like end all be all. If it has one of these or if it's on full script, you're at 10 out of 10. That doesn't mean that there's like say Udo oil, for instance, isn't on there. That doesn't mean it's bad or I don't trust it. But this is kind of my if it doesn't have these, I personally wouldn't. But there's definitely vegetarian options for omegas. And I want to say there's a filter on full script where you could do like omegas and then do vegetarian on there. There's usually like a vegetarian, a gluten-free, and a dairy-free. And I think they have filters on there. Not seeing an option to enter wait list. Should we schedule the next available appointment? I don't even know if there's anything. I'm like, if there's anything showing up for available appointments, I don't know if that's correct. But at the top right here, if y'all can see this, it just says call our office or click here. So if you click here, it goes to the wait list. What are your thoughts on vitamin B? Depends on the person. I know specifically, like with vitamin B12, like if someone is taking metformin, I would highly recommend taking a B12 or at least getting your B12 checked to then take it because how the metformin affects our body, it also hinders the absorption of B12. So yeah. Let's see. Thank you. You're welcome. Is there a B that's better than another? B6 versus B12 versus B complex. So B complex is like a variety of B12s in one supplement, if that makes sense. So it would have like the B6, it would have the B12, but it depends on the person and the deficiency. So I know you probably sent this, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know when you sent this, if it was before or after I was talking about metformin. But say if someone's deficient in B12, then obviously we would supplement with the B12 versus like the B6. So it just depends on the person and what they need and kind of like what's going on with them. So a big thing, like off the top of my head, B12 is another one of those ones. It's not like vitamin D, how we see it that common deficiency wise, but B12 is kind of up there in deficiencies. But a big one for people that are B12 deficient is energy. They have really low energy. So something to consider if you have really low energy. Perfect. Y'all had some good questions. We're gonna have to do a little bit of research. I'm kind of excited. I'm like, I want to learn some new things. Okay. Any other questions? If you want to unmute, you can.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yes. Until next time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click here to make sure it goes somewhere. Okay, yeah, it goes to. I'm like, now that you say that, I'm like, let me actually click the link to make sure it's actually going somewhere. Is blood work gonna see what you were deficient in? Yes. So it depends on how much of a deep dive you want to go into, but like things like magnesium, B12, vitamin D can be done just like at the doctor's office. But if you want to do something more in depth, because the doctor's office can't do all of the micronutrients and minerals and all of the things. So that's whenever you would get into like more testing. So like doing a micronutrient test or doing like an HTMA test, which is a hair tissue mineral analysis test. And that looks more at the minerals. So obviously micronutrients looks at like the vitamins, and some of the minerals too. So that's where I would, it depends on how deep dive you want to get into. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're like, I don't really know what my doctor does, sometimes I haven't done this in a while, but I get on the Any Lab Now. I know there's one on Rock Prairie, but you can see what they test for too. And they might have, I don't know, they might have um like a micronutrient kind of more extensive test. I'm not sure. Perfect. You are welcome. Let's see.
Last call for any questions for Brandy over anything we've talked about in this
Yes.
series or anything previously. We
Yes,
hope you've
y'all are
gained a ton of knowledge.
welcome. Yes,
I
I
know
hope
I
y'all
did.
have. Yes, good. That's what I love to hear. That's
Yeah.
what I love to hear. Yes, you're
Yay.
welcome. I was looking real quick on Any Lab Tests Now. I'll put it on the screen. Can y'all see that? I switched the tab. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. I was just looking at popular tests. I don't see anything specific for the nutrition like injection. Let me see additional tests. I was just gonna tell y'all real quick if I could find anything, but I can't see anything now. But usually they have like the like you can I know you can do like vitamin D and stuff like that. So maybe dig around on here and see um if there's anything you'll want. Or you can even call your doctor's office to see what they have. But I know you just can't do all of the micronutrients at the doctor's office. Where can we see past sessions? Perfect. Cool.
They're all on our YouTube, and there's a
Love
link
it.
for you.
I'm like, I maybe I need to go back and watch it. I hate listening to myself talk, so I probably don't need to do that.
Same. But they're all there if you need to
Yeah.
go back and review anything. And this one will be posted
Mhm.
probably later on today as well. So Zoom has to download, and then we have to do our thing to make it look pretty, and then we'll have it up there. I typically will send
Perfect.
out an email to anyone who registered and attended
Mhm.
that once we have it live. So if there's anything you want to go back and review that Brandy's discussed, give us a little bit of time, and it should be up this afternoon or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Well, Brandy, thank you so much for being here with us
Yes.
and
Thank
helping us
y'all
put
for
on this
having me.
series. It has been
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yes.
I have learned a ton, I know. And I actually know that we've got a number of friends who have not been able to make it in person, but have been watching
Mhm.
on YouTube because they've been emailing me and
Perfect.
letting me know. So
Yay.
we are
Great.
so, so grateful that you shared your knowledge and expertise with us.
Absolutely.
And we'll chat more about more programming
Yeah. That
options
sounds
with you
good.
guys.
I love it. I love it. Well, have a good week, everybody, and enjoy this beautiful weather.
Yeah. Okay, bye, friends.
Yes.
We'll see you
Bye.
guys at our other Living Well events. Let us know if you have any
Yes.
questions or concerns. We're always here.
Yes. Perfect.